Hello everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to Phebee's Books. Today is going to be a very special live because we have a lot of information to cover. So first we want to talk about self-publishing, we want to talk about our plushies, we want to talk about our standees, we want to talk about our light up sign. We have a lot of stuff to cover, so let's dig right in. Phebee's Books is something that we created in 2023. When I say we, I'm talking about Chris and I. Chris unfortunately cannot join us today because he is at work, but he will be joining you guys in a later live later. Books was inspired by Phebee and Sprinkle, which is our first book that we created in the Phebee and Sprinkle series. And let me tell you guys, it has been a journey. So let's go into self-publishing and the truths of what we faced with self-publishing. So we used KDP, that was our first self-publishing, and that is what we've been sticking with 2 years now. We have used IngramSpark because we've heard so many times that it is the more professional way to go and you will get a wider audience using IngramSpark. Unfortunately, we have not had a great experience with IngramSpark. So I'm gonna speak more cheat sheet here to keep me in check. So KDP is easy to upload and it is faster turnaround than IngramSpark. IngramSpark, I feel like I'm waiting like 3-4 days for them to tell me yes or no. And then even though they tell you yes and they send you the printed copy, it's so bland, it's so muted, it's so drab, and it's very disappointing. It wasn't like that in 2023 because we did use KDP and we used IngramSpark at the same time because again, people kept telling us you need to do both, do both, do both. But KDP to me has been the easier choice and is more beginner friendly. I wouldn't say that it's beginner friendly, but if you had to choose between the two, KDP is the way to go. So I want to be honest with you guys, I had a lot of trial and error when it came to this because again, I had never done anything like this. So I want to make that very clear because I don't want anyone going in thinking that, oh, this is going to be easy breezy. For some people it may be, but it was not for me. And I'm someone that's great with computers. I'm pretty tech savvy. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with knowing what fits and what does fit when it comes to what you're illustrating. So if you're illustrating something on a large scale and you have a lot of details in the middle of that image, it is going to be cut off in printing. I'm saying if you're trying to do a 2-page spread, which I didn't understand. I don't know what I was trying to do. I was trying to stretch out the images to make them fit into both pages sometimes. And there was just a lot of stuff that I was doing that was just not okay. And we would get the copies and I'd be just like, why does it look like this? And you know, Chris would be like, why does it look blown up? Why does it look like that? So I'm pretty sure if Chris gave it a real effort, because he says he's not too tech savvy, but I think if he gave it a real effort, he would have been more successful in getting our book published quicker. And it's not that it didn't get published quickly. That wasn't the goal, is to like push stuff out and it not be great quality. But I think that it would have been pushed out a little bit quicker and published a little bit quicker if Chris had done it, because he knows a lot about when it comes to measuring and putting stuff where it fits and knows how to cut off certain unimportant areas in order to make it fit perfectly into the template. So again, you probably don't understand what I'm really saying, but we can do another video eventually at some point just discussing and me actually showing you guys what I'm talking about. So now it says free ISBN, no setup fee. I want to let you guys know that both platforms did not charge me a setup fee and you're able to get free ISBNs from both of the companies, IngramSpark and KDP. So it says great for Amazon visibility. So if you want your book to show on Amazon and you want to sell predominantly on Amazon, KDP is the way to go. So it says limited paper quality and distribution. I want to say that with KDP, if you do the paperback, I hope I'm saying this right. If you do the paperback and it has to be a certain size, there's qualifications in order for them to do distribute. They do distribute to universities and libraries, and that's something that I think a lot of creators don't tell other people. But they do have an option if your book is eligible for you to push it out to libraries and universities and get it seen past Amazon. Just so everybody knows that. Now, IngramSpark, again, a lot of people were telling us that it was a wider bookstore and library distribution. But the way that they've printed out our books this year, we have decided not to move forward with using IngramSpark because, number one, the price is ridiculous. It's $57 for our Phebee's Halloween Nightmare book. And we were like, that is crazy. No one's going to pay that much money for, you know, a book that, number one, they don't know. Number two, we don't feel like the book should be that expensive. There's no reason for it to be that expensive. So I don't know about anything behind the scenes. Like, I'm not really sure why IngramSpark, their price is so much higher than KDP. I could not tell you guys. But that's something that we didn't really like too much. And again, this year, everything that they've sent to us has been horrible. The colors have been muted. The pages look like they're wet. Like they look like they've been sitting in a puddle of water and they just went like this to it and shipped it to us and it dried in the box. And then when we got it, that was it. So we were like, if people are going to pay $57, if someone chooses to pay $57 for a book and for them to receive it in that manner, we would be so embarrassed and we wouldn't know what to say. So altogether, we just pulled that back because we don't have control when it comes to what you guys are getting, unfortunately. When it comes to like the paper looking wet, and we don't have control of that unless we order bulk copies and have those copies on hand. We can look at them and make sure they're all, you know, great quality before we send it out to you guys. But that's a whole nother story as well when it comes to ordering bulk. Everything is so expensive. Everything is so overpriced right now. So it is really against the small business owners. We're just losing here, you know. So this here says requires ISBN purchase and upload fee. That's not true for IngramSpark. But I do want to be clear with IngramSpark. It's something that I love when it comes to KDP and what I don't like about IngramSpark. If you publish your book and pretend there's something wrong with your book, if you don't fix it within 60 days, like if you didn't notice it in the 60 days that you published the book, they charge you a fee. You will be charged. So I just want you guys to know that. And I didn't know that. So when I had gone back to change one of the books, it was past the 60 days. And they do tell you that when you're about to do it, that they're going to charge you a fee. I believe it was like $30 or $50. I don't remember. I think it was $30 or $50. But it's just awful. And KDP does not do that to you. So I just want to point that out too. It says that IngramSpark is best for professional authors and retail sales. So again, that's one of the reasons why Chris and I wanted to try IngramSpark. But again, our experience this year just has not been great. Even in 2023, it wasn't too great, but now it's worse. So we don't want our name attached to something that makes our books look like. And we want to get into the Phebee plush toy and clay plush toy. We don't have Scary with us, but we do have images of Scary because it was sent to us by the warehouse that's creating Scary. So that's what you guys see online. So this is Phebee. Let me get her out of here. This is Phebee. Hi, say hi, Phebee. And Phebee is pretty dope. She has her little magical wand. This is her Halloween costume. She has a little dress. She has her wings. She has her little pumpkin. So she's very accessorized. She has her cute little shoes and socks. And then Chris attached a hang tag on her. And it says Phebee's Halloween Nightmare. And it says limited edition plushie. And it says 2025 on it. So he didn't have room to put her name on it. I really wish that we could have had their names on it. So it just says the title of the book. It says the year, and yep, this is Phebee. me bring her closer so you guys can see her. So a lot of people are like, oh, this is really weird. I've never seen a plush toy with a face like this. And you know what? That makes us happy because we don't want our toy to look like everybody else's toy. So this one, the reason why her face looks like this is because it's literally the illustration from the book. She's afraid because, you know, they're walking in a dark maze and she doesn't know what's ahead of her. So that is why her face is like that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab clay so that you guys are able to see clay. And I am going to show you this little setup here that we have here too. Again, Chris has come up with so many cool and neat ideas to promote this book, to show you guys all the characters. So let me go grab clay. So this is clay. And people have comments about his face too. And he's pretty cool too. He has a hang tag. He has his cute little shoes. And this is his Halloween costume. And on the back is his cape. This is a mask. And the reason why he's making this face is in the book he's going grrr. And he's calling himself Super Beast. He is Mr. Super Beast. So that is his Halloween costume. And we think it's pretty cute, pretty dope. And it's just really nice to see an illustration of Chris's come to life. So that's what that is. So this is really neat. Chris also made a VHS tape cover. So the actual tape that's inside, it's so cool. He also put the title of our book here. And I think it's so cool. Put color 90 minutes, PG. And he got great value, $19.99. He even did, he did a whole spread. You guys can't see that, but he did a whole spread. Has a synopsis also in the back, this image. So he really went all out. And again, guys, we did this, well, he did this because we both love the story so much and we love the illustrations so much. So I wanted to just show you guys those things. I am going to show you this setup because I think I'm going to go ahead and turn off the light here because it's feeling like a little bit steamy and I wouldn't want any type of accidents or anything like that to happen. So before I do that, I'm sure you guys saw our light up sign. That's Phebee's Books. We were so excited when it came in. The camera does not do it any justice, but we're just excited to have it here with us. Our skeleton friends in the back. And at the top, we just have a bat flying on the moon. And we used a window curtain as the background color because we didn't want it to be beige because, you know, it's Halloween. We want it to be dark. We do have our Busan, which I just realized now is not even lit up. And then we have another scarecrow here that is not scary. He's just a scarecrow. But our bucket says scary, which I think is pretty neat. Okay, guys. So this is scary. And what's so cool about this is that Chris painted his face. So he looks really creepy, but you know, that's why his name is Scary. Branches, tree branches, little branches like that. And then do you see the details of his hands? And his body's like that too. And then Chris wrapped some yarn around his body. And this is our book cover, which his hand is kind of covering it. I don't want to touch it because it keeps falling. And this is the coloring book. And then this is Phebee and clay. And then these are the boxes. And then down here is the canvas that we were telling you guys about. And Chris is really cool. He has this light here that makes the lights pop because he made it with fluorescent paint. And then we have our standee, Scary. And you see he has his little question mark. And if you read the book, you'll know why that question mark is there. And he's coming out of a pumpkin, like a genie. So I think that, like, again, Chris incorporated so many cool things when it came to this scarecrow. And this is the Phebee standee. And then that's a candy basket. And then that's just our Halloween. And then our Phebee's books. So as you can see, we have worked really, really, really hard on this whole setup. We've worked really hard in bringing these characters to life. And I want to make it very, very clear, that's something that I haven't discussed with you guys yet. None of the illustrations in our book is AI. None of it. All original ideas, all hand painted or hand sketched or inked or both by Chris. And I colored a majority of the pictures in the first 3 books that we had using the iPad. So the way we would do that is Chris would hand sketch and then ink them. And then he would send them to me via telephone because we were long distance at the time. We were 3 hours away from one another. So we were doing everything long distance. And then I would color it. And Chris promises and swears that I'm this amazing artist when it comes to putting colors together. I don't really think so, but he makes me feel very, very appreciated when he tells me stuff like that. But this is the paperback book of Phebee's Halloween Nightmare. I don't think I even showed you guys our stand here. We have a stand here as well. And the stand holds 3 books, and Chris got that from Amazon. And he usually has lights that are pinned on top of here, but for some reason they're not here now. But yeah, these are all our books, all the copies of the Phebee's Halloween Nightmare. And this is the paperback. So I wanted to do a read out aloud with you guys, but I think that what I'm going to do is I am going to use AI when it comes to making some quick animations. If they come out decent, then I'll use them for the time being. But eventually, Chris and I have spoken about getting an actual animator that will do that for us. And we're really hoping that the animator that we get will not use any AI. We know a lot of people around us that have published books and they have used an illustrator that told them that they did the illustrations, and they did not. They used AI. So we are not doing that, and we have not done that. I have been so blessed, and I tell Chris this all the time. I've been so blessed for Chris being a part of this project with me, for him saying yes to doing this project with me, because he could have definitely said no, that he was not interested. So it's really nice that he did this with me. And I'm so glad that we did this. So we have so many great illustrations in the books. And some of the illustrations you guys see more than others. And we also made the pages orange because it's Halloween. And we could have done an edition, maybe we will one day, an edition that is black pages and do the words like orange colors, and then we'll see if Chris wants to do that. I think that'd be a really neat addition to do. Chris always thinks of new ideas for the book to do something different. And I'm like, we could do that as an edition, a special edition. So we don't want to continue adding on any more pages to this book. Again, it's 175 pages. We have an abridged version available that is 96 pages, and it's $15. And this one right here, I believe, is $33 to $40 on Amazon. What I forgot to tell you guys is the pricing for the plush toys. They are free shipping. I want to make sure you guys know that it is free shipping on the website automatically when it comes to the plushies. When it comes to the books and other merchandise on our website, not KDP, but our actual website, you have to put in free shipping at checkout in order for it to apply and give you free shipping. But we try our best to really make things as inexpensive as possible. Again, remember that a lot of the pricing is because of the printing costs. So something that Chris and we also were discussing is that we are going to try to sell a lot of our things locally because that will cut the shipping costs, and that'll also cut the pricing for a lot of stuff. The reason why there's so many upcharges on all this stuff is the shipping part of everything. But if we're selling it locally, then we can definitely cut that price almost by half. And I think that's really, really great. But I think that's all I wanted to cover when it came to the setup. And like, again, I'm not going to do the reading today. I think the reading I should do on a separate channel, a separate day. And it might just be my voice. I don't think I'm going to show my face when I do the reading, but you guys will definitely see the illustrations. You guys will see the words, and you guys get to be introduced to the characters if you haven't met them yet, or if you've already heard about the characters but don't really know them that well. This book will give you everything that you need to know about Clay, Phebee, Phebee's mom, Scary, and I think that's everybody. Phebee, Clay, Phebee's mom, and Scary. Yep, and Sprinkle. How can I forget? Sprinkle. That's one thing that Chris and I, we have been discussing a lot. I think we need a Sprinkle plushie. We're not sure if we're going to do a Halloween one and a Christmas one, or if we're just going to do a Christmas one. But that's, you know, ideas that we have. And we just have to see how this goes, you know. But we're really optimistic and hopeful. So we'll see in a few years. I tell him, I said, you never know. This can blow up at night when we're sleeping. It can blow up in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. But again, Chris and I, we both work. I'm in school, you know, furthering my career. We are not crossing our fingers and hoping that this will pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? But it would be nice, you know, but it's not what our goal is. Or I shouldn't say our goal is. It's not really what we're putting in the back of our heads as the priority, basically. Like, it's not like, okay, we need this to pay rent. We need this to pay bills. That's not what it is. So I just want to let you guys know, that we did not forget, I can't speak. We did not forget about the Boo Basket giveaway. We didn't get quite the turnout that we were hoping for, but we are going to announce a winner live. We're going to announce it this week because we do need to have that shipped out to the winner ASAP, because Halloween is right around the corner and we want them to have it in time for Halloween. Behind the scenes, we are going to talk about behind the scenes some more on another video. Chris and I did a very small behind the scenes, but you guys didn't really get to see anything that was going on behind the scenes. Chris has some footage, not a lot. I wish he took more footage when he was doing a lot of these things, but he didn't. The new book that we're working on now, he is taking more footage of his work because it's important. We want people to see what we're doing. So if you want to see a sneak peek of the next book, write sneak peek down below, and you never know, we might just do a video that gives you a sneak peek. All right, so let's move on to Q&A. If you live in Florida and you're interested in knowing more information about how to register your company or anything like that, please do not hesitate. You can comment down below and I will make a separate video telling you the step-by-step, showing you the step-by-step on how to get that done, okay? So, there are 20 questions for me. I might not answer all 20. We just chose like the best questions that were sent over to us. This is a lot. You know what I'll do? I'll answer 3 questions this time around. I'll answer 3 because this is a lot. How did you come up with Scary the Scarecrow? So I think Scary the Scarecrow was inspired just by everything scary that we've watched in our childhood. So Chris, for sure, like we keep asking who came up with Scary. I think I told Chris I want to get a scarecrow in here, but I want him to look different. I think I did tell Chris, because you know where I got it from? Dorothy, from The Wizard of Oz. But when it comes to the hat and just like the question mark and all this other stuff that Chris did that. The pumpkin at the bottom of the bottom of Scary, Chris came up with. And I know it was Genie inspired. So there's just a lot of different things that inspired Scary. And I think he looks pretty dope. Pretty dope. So I would say it just came from a lot of different things that we've watched, and the story that we created, it just made sense to have him look this way. Which book was the hardest to write? The hardest book to write, I feel like my answer is always going to change, which is like horrible. But I'm trying to think really, really hard. The first book was the easiest book to write. I think every single time I'm going to say that's the easiest book for that I wrote. The most difficult book, the hardest book, I'd have to say was... I'd have to say it was the camping book. I think the camping book was the most difficult. It was a lot of no, 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 and then Chris would we had a lot of problems with that one. So I think the camping book was the most difficult book. I came up with a lot of revisions when it came to that one, and I think I was frustrated because was I in school already? No, I wasn't in school already. I just knew that I was going to go to school, and I was like, I can't be focused on revisiting this and keep doing this and keep doing that. So that one was the most difficult one for me. How do you feel seeing new plush toy prototypes? Honestly, I was very emotional. I couldn't believe that it happened. Chris, he wants to do a separate video on this. And if you guys were a fly on the wall, I think you guys would crack up. I think at one point, Chris almost had a meltdown, like a real deal meltdown, because things just weren't going the way that he wanted them to. And having someone have complete control of what your vision is overseas and you're not there. You're not physically there saying no, yes, you're not there. And it took days for one question to get answered. So for it to come out the way that it has, we're definitely so appreciative and so happy. We had someone say something very mean and cruel, a friend, and this person has had nothing positive to say about anything that we had going on. So when they made a comment about the plush toys, that was the end that was the end for Chris. He was like, all right, I worked really hard in sketching this, character and doing all this stuff. And, everything that we've gone through, they don't even know what we've gone through to get these plush toys. And for them to make that comment really destroyed him. It destroyed him in that moment. And it took a few weeks for him to shake it off, because he literally was like, oh, maybe we made a mistake. And I was like, well, the plush toys are here. You ordered 100 of one character, 100 of another, 200 of another character. So we can't let one person's cruel comment, make you feel as if what you did is not great, I'll answer this last question because it is a good question. So that's a bonus question for you that I'm answering. What's one word to describe your author journey so far? If I can choose one word to describe the journey, it has to be learning. If I had to choose one word, learning. But I'll elaborate on that. I've had to learn so many things because I didn't wake up one day and think in my mind, oh yes, I can be an author. I've had these ideas for so long, and to put them to paper and actually publish it, that was really scary. And I had to keep teaching myself and then also learning from others that you keep hearing this all the time, but it's true, you have to give yourself grace and learn from your mistakes and then move forward. You can't keep dwelling in the past. You can't keep worrying about what this person's going to say, if this person's going to like it, if this person's not going to like it. That doesn't matter. You put out your art, you put out your work, and that's it. But it's been a learning journey. It's been a lot of learning, and I'm still learning. And I'm so blessed that that's something that I'm willing to do, is to learn and be uncomfortable. And sometimes being uncomfortable can be very stressful on the body. It can be very stressful on the mind. But once you come out the other end, it's just really, really great. And it's wonderful to see how much you've evolved and grown as a person. I believe that is all I wanted to talk to you guys about today on this YouTube video, on this live. And I do want to take the time out to say thank you so much. And I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for everyone that stops and watches our videos. Thank you for everyone that takes the time to comment, to ask a question, to really show any type of interest in what we have going on here. Again, I'm sorry that Chris couldn't join us today. He will be doing another live maybe today. This week is his birthday, so it's going to be a very busy week for us, but we're just so thankful for every single one of you. And you guys have our other video that we did behind the scenes hit 6,000 views. I'm so excited about that. I can't even believe that happened. So we're really excited to see where this is going to go, but we are keeping our expectations, I don't want to say low, that sounds so bad, but we're keeping our expectations at a level that we have to know that even if this doesn't, or if it doesn't be what we think it can be, it still was a beautiful journey that I shared with a beautiful person, and a very talented person. I don't think Chris knows how talented he is. I think he's very hard on himself. And I don't know why he's so hard on himself, but he is so awesome. And again, I said this before, I am so blessed and I'm so happy that he said yes to this journey with me. And I'm just glad that we're doing this together. And I want to share this exciting news with you guys. Chris actually is the author of the 5th book. He has never done anything like this before. And I'm so proud of him, and I cannot wait for you guys to see. He already showed me some of his illustrations, and I am blown away. So I cannot wait for you guys to see everything. So I love you all, and thank you so much again for joining us at Phebee's Books. We appreciate every single one of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful weekend. And if we don't see you for Halloween, happy Halloween. Bye.